Hi, this is Johnny. Hopefully the noise in the back you still could hear me because there's a fan blowing in my restroom because of the pipe busted. So the whole ceiling kind of collapsed in the upstairs restroom. So I have the insurance people come out and turn on the heater, turn on the fan, try to blow up so it won't grow mold like it did on the garage. But anyway, beside that point, today we are going to look at revisit this one. Now, I just update the customer firmware, and at first I thought that I have to always put the SD card into the computer every time I turn it off without proper shutdown. If you don't use the software to shut it down and just turn this off right there and you turn it back on, with the customer firmware you get this error saying that it's looking for the FAT32 for the partition. So it is actually checking for the FAT32 partition. So it's checking to make sure your disk drive is not, your SD card is not corrupted, and I guess it's trying to fix itself, which is in a way is good, but it takes close to a minute to do this. Okay, it took a long time. Well, actually it took 1 minute and I think 20 seconds. Now this emulator, if you remember where's the last thing you look at, which is pretty cool. It looked pretty nice, but it actually pretty much do the same thing. It doesn't have the functionality where you could actually go into a setting and change it. Roughly there is a couple emulation in here that do not work. Even though I put the ROM in here, it will not work. So today we're going to talk about which one work and which one doesn't work, and I believe this is a customer firmware 1.3.3. so when you burn the SD card, it will give you this shell, but there won't be no ROM. So you will have to put your own ROM in there in order for it to work. Otherwise it's not going to work, and it doesn't tell you what kind of ROM to need to put in there. Not like before where this one, the screen, as you can see, is better. After 2 years they have improved the hardware, but the Lynx is still the same thing. They really did not do. Some of them they did improve it, like the made for all. So let's visit back in time, where 2 years ago when they first came out with the Linux operating system, they actually have a couple more versions before this one. Okay, they have something similar to this, is a little bit bigger, and I have bought a white one without this little spinning thing, and it actually broke, and that was one of my favorite one. And so I figured, well, why not get this one? I think this one is called the RS97S, and it comes with this little like a kind of like an analog that they added, but it's more, I forgot what you call this, more like a slider. It's more of a slider than anything. You just slide forward and back, okay, which is pretty neat. And so what I did at first, I was very into this, and I even created where you could switch between they call this a GUI menu. Okay, it's the same thing as this one, but this GUI menu it's gone. It is using this when it boot up, I think it's called a My Mini something, Mio Mini or something. And this one, what I did is I created a customer firmware. I modified the customer firmware where it allows you to switch between the G menu, and because the G menu have more emulator, it have close to 27 emulator here, and they actually work. And but not the best. Now, you know, the Linux operating system open source emulator is always hit and miss, hit and miss, meaning that some of the game will work very well and some of the game will not work. And so that's part of the reason after 2 years in the past, going back to the past, why I stopped supporting or creating more what you call it, the front end screen. This one is called a Pi menu, which I have created, which allow you to run both the Pi menu, which I modified. It's created by one of the hacker. I don't know who created, but I modified it and I figured out how to use it. So it was much friendlier than this new one that they have. But this new one, it looked nice. The only thing different is it just changed the front end page. That's it. It doesn't have no icon. It doesn't support icon, and it doesn't it only have one background. Where this one, if you switch between, like I switched between Neo Geo Christmas version edition, it actually changed the background as well. And there's pretty nice stuff that was added. Okay, but this one also do not show icon pictures, and this one I accidentally delete. I didn't accidentally delete it because it have two ROM. It have this one, I think this one is a 1.3.2, and it have a SD card on the back and allow you to put the ROM on this SD card. So this is the main SD card and this is the ROM SD card, but I do not know what happened to my ROM SD card. I lost it. So I went to revisit my download website, and I was able to download all the one that I have. But during 2 years ago, I wasn't very advanced in which ROM that I really like. So I will revisit that and make this one better. Okay. Now, part of people might say, well, Johnny, you used to do a video on this. Why you discontinue it? Part of it is because I lost a lot of my stuff because I accidentally formatted my hard drive. It's already like twice I did that. When I'm burning the SD card, I burn to the wrong drive, and then my hard drive corrupted. I think, yeah, my hard drive have corrupted, and just recently my hard drive corrupted again, and it's a Western Digital 6 terabyte, and it's corrupted. And now I'm trying to revisit my upload site and try to recover my ROM and my images. So I will have to, now if you was to turn this one off, now this video is going to revisit. Now I have an artwork on the video where you could download this and you could actually tape it and make it to look like Neo Geo. Okay, this one is actually, the color is like Neo Geo, but I went and print out the artwork so it looked like Neo Geo. Okay, now this one, it will boot up to G menu, and then you could swap it to Pi menu. So it allow you to do both. Where now you might say, why are you talking about this? Well, I'm going to bring up the point when I change the SD card on this one. Okay, and so this one, like I could go to the game ROM, and then I could go to the emulator, and every time I choose the emulator, it changed the background. But I think like I need to fix some of my background because some of them are small and some of them are big. Okay, and at that time I didn't know how to resize the pictures. So this is something that I could revisit after 2 years to make this a much better front end than Then, so this G menu also allow you to change background, which is pretty cool. That you pick the emulator, and it will change background. Okay, and then you could press the plus and minus, and you could go to the actually they call it the pie menu, is PY, so pie menu, which is confusing with retro, you know, Raspberry Pi. They call it the same name, so it's very confusing that they did that. So when you press the B button, it will launch into the pie menu. Now only thing I have to do is just put the SD card with the ROM in it, and then I could play all this. Okay, so I have to revisit and put all this in. Now can this front end go into to this one? Now it's a possibility I could. Now I have moved some ROM over to, not to this version, but to the G menu. The reason I didn't like this one is because most of the games do not work. So let's go back and revisit this. Now I also have this one. Now this one I do have ROM in it that I could actually do demo on it. But okay, so this one I do have the ROM in it. This is only a I believe 2.8 or 2.6. So this is a I think it's LDK horizontal version. And the reason I bought this one was because it's supposed to be the most powerful one that they have. But the problem is the screen is only a 2.6. Based on this is 2.6, but based on the advertisement they say it's 2.8. But it's actually a 2.6 screen. It's a very small screen, but a lot of emulator work well here. You have Made for All, you had Final Burnout and Final Burnout 320. Each of them have different emulators, so you could play different Made, because Made does not support. There's 2010, there's different version of Made, and so this one actually worked very nice. And you could actually play the, you know, Tempest and everything here. So you click on A button, it looked like the one that from this version. Okay, but it also take a long time to load. If you put like 2000 plus ROM in here, it's gonna take forever to load, and I think I put too much on this one. One thing I didn't like is the open source work, but it load very slow. And it just, like, even this load very slow, even though this was supposed to be one of the very powerful, supposed to be powerful than the one you see called the RS07 back there. That's the RS07, and this is called the LDP. Now I'm gonna press the down arrow so it will start moving. So you could play all kind of game here, and it is pretty cool. But I think it also have the same problem with when you play the Mercury, the game is also will turn sideways, and that's the problem with open source. It would do all the game if it's vertically. Well, guess what? This one does support it, so it doesn't go vertically. So that's interesting. So that's good. But this one, the Powkiddy version 9, have a problem with that. So let's see, we could turn this up. So this one is very nice. It actually played the game in the right direction of the game. So it's very nice. And you have this option as well. And problem is, I sometimes doesn't know how to get out of this game. Now if you press the top, you can change the brightness to real bright. So there must be a way to turn this off. I think I just reset it by holding these two buttons. Yeah, I reset the game. So I haven't used this for almost 2 years, so I don't remember how to turn this thing off. But this also gives you a pie menu. Yeah, so where you can press the top, and it have a lot of game as well. It doesn't have the Street Fighter like the other one have, the open source Street Fighter. You have an open board, but it's not the same Street Fighter. But this one also allows you to load a lot of open source. So this one, I forgot that I have this one, but I like the idea this one is bigger, the screen is much bigger, and I hate the idea it's always going to sleep mode. But this one is close to a 3.0, and this one is pretty nice. So another word, what I'm trying to say is the emulator is not perfect. It's always gonna have issue. I don't care what kind of China version you get. There's so many versions out there, and I just stop. There's a one that everybody loves. It's called RG351, and I think they're finally coming out with a 352. The only way they could improve this emulator is not using no more. Go to Android, and I think that's what they are doing. They are moving to an Android version, and I think they're also adding a touchscreen, which is not bad. It's almost the same as Retro Pocket 2 Plus. So they are competing with them. Now I could choose this pie menu and press A, and it will also load the pie menu as you see back there. So there's the pie menu. The only problem I'm having is that that there's something wrong with this, and I couldn't figure out why. But you could also pick the game, but it just okay. Mine's pretty cool. My pie menu actually show a box art. See that? But so this is why I'm complaining about this new one. All right, so that's enough talk about the old one. Let's go back to the new one, and let's talk about why I have a problem with this one. Okay, so let them all running, I guess, and let's do a close. I have written down, I'll put this information, I'll put all this information on the bottom of the description and explain to you why I have problem with this game system with the customer firmware. Okay, and I have another SD card that actually show you what I did, where I actually bring the ROM over. Now I have to add another program in order to create the icon into the main firmware. So let's go ahead and talk about this, and then I'm going to power everything off, and we're going to talk about this. Okay, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to go to the very first one, which is vector program. All right, this one, the problem I'm having is I cannot get it to work. All right, now I don't know why I cannot get it to work. So I have a zip file. I even tried the VEC, and it does not want it to work. Now maybe it's because not all the game will work because it's a Lynx operating system. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But let me just press A and just show you. it just get the black screen, and I use the VEC as well, and I just get a black screen. Okay, so why did the first screen, the first one, when I burn the image, when you download it, the first image you're gonna see is this one, the Vector. That's why it's listed as number 1 in my list. Okay, and it doesn't work. So there's about 8 emulator or close to 9 emulator. One, you have to go download the kick.rom, and we will talk about that. But yeah, it will allow you to exit out when you press the home button. This is the home button. Okay, when I say home button, it would be this one. This is a select start. Some of the game you have to press select to get out. Some of them is press start. Some of them you press home. So it's not always the same. And that's what's the problem with the Linux operating system, because it's not created by the same person who developed the open source. It's done by the community of people who write the emulator, and they are done by different people in different years and different time. So they are not always going to be the same thing. And so what the people in China, what they did is they created using open source, because they realized the open source Linux is free. You could use it without having people saying copyright. So they started to use that. But at the same time, why are you using that? But the ROM is not, the ROM is copyright. So why are you using Linux, but you don't worry about the ROM? So that right there is kind of like, it is, you know, it's a kind of like a messed up. If you worry about people saying you're using copyright, like retro art and stuff like that, then why are you using ROM then, you know? So anyway, that to me doesn't make sense. So they use the Linux operating system, and with Linux operating system, you run into this kind of problem. So let me get the screen to the right location, and let's exit out this game. Sometimes B is the main button, and sometimes A is the main button. So I already tried the VEC, and I tried the zip file. It didn't work for me. So those of you who know, let me know, because I cannot get it work. So press B to get out. Next one. This one worked. It worked with the zip file. So you can press B to get out, A to get in. Okay. So this one will work, and I'm not very I'm not excellent about like what. Okay, let's try this one. That's not the one I did play. So Fantasy Zone is pretty cool. I can't even hear the sound. Because it's way too noisy in my room. You can hear it, but you can hardly hear it because the noise is so loud in my house. The fan. Alright, so let's get out of the game. I think you press the home button, which is also do a screenshot. You could load and save. So one thing good about this thing, it does save your game. Now, one thing I remember after somebody asked me this question is, does it use a different controller? No, it doesn't. It do not use a different controller. And with the open source, you will have problem finding a controller that you could use. Even if it say it's supported, it will not work well. And that's part of the reason that this one wasn't as popular. Even though the screen was real big, it didn't get that popular because, I mean, it got popular because it had 6 buttons where Neo Geo Mini do not have. So, and the screen is bigger, so this become very popular very quick. But the problem is they cannot get all the emulator to work well with the big screen. So they decided to go backward. So they start making smaller and smaller screen. And because of the Linux open source support smaller screen, because Handheld, when they first started to create the emulator. So that's why you're seeing the screen being 3 inches, 3.5, and that's the most, that's the biggest they can make. You want in the Linux open source that I'm aware of. Okay, so you're not going to get any screen bigger like that one, which is I think that one is like 5 inches or 4 inches. I don't remember now. Let me measure that one. It's been too long. Those of you who remember me doing this will know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah. So this is about 4 inches, a little bit more than 4 inches, maybe 4.2 screen. So yes, this is one of the biggest. So in order for the Linux operating system to run well, it's pretty much 3.5. 3.5 is the best screen to run the Linux operating system. So I could see that they are moving away from Linux open source and going to Android, because Android, their emulator are very good. You know, they even, some of the emulator even better than RetroArch. I could definitely tell you that. But one thing I didn't like is it didn't have any picture icon. I tried to put some picture in here and it doesn't show it. So I'm like, okay, anybody know how to put picture in here? Because this one do not have any pictures. So even when I go to a different one, go into it, there's no pictures at all. And now this one, you could access out. I do not know how to play this game very well. So let's press A. So I do not know how to play this game. When you click the select button, you get to that screen. And I think you could also, you just want to type in random number. And I guess you could just select quit, press B to exit out. Okay, so it kind of worked, but I don't know how to play this. I don't know how to play this too. I don't remember how to play this. I imagine my old video I have talked about how to play this, but I don't know how to play this anymore because I don't really play that emulator. So let's get out here, go B, and then let's go to the next one. Now Neo Geo Pocket, it worked with the, it worked if you unzip the, you have to keep it in NGC or NGP. It will not work if it's a zip file. So you have to unzip it in order for it to work. So SNK versus the girl street fighting game. So it does work. Okay, so this game does work and it worked pretty nice. Now it doesn't cover the full screen, so you will have to go to the setting. See, it doesn't cover the full screen. So if you want to cover the full screen, you have to go to the setting and scaling. You want to stretch. Okay, then you press continue again. Now the screen is a full screen. Alright, so each of the emulator allow you to do that, which is pretty cool. So we're going to choose mine. So this game, this is a Neo Geo Pocket. Alright, and you could also save it. Press A. And you could also quit. Alright, so Neo Pocket work okay. Now Commodore 64, I can't get it to work. So just FYI, I cannot get it to work at all. Okay, so it says running, but nothing show up. So Commodore 64 is another one I can't get it to work. It does load, but it doesn't do nothing. So it's not really very friendly use. Now game and watches it play well. It play pretty nice. Okay, I wish the screen would stop getting so bright, because every time I move closer it will get brighter, and then when I move far away it get blurry again. See, so I apologize for that. Okay, so let me move this camera more toward the middle. Try to focus this better. There you go. Now you can see all the, yeah, there you go. So that's good. Yeah, the Game Watch is very nice. It actually play. So like Mickey Mouse, I didn't know there's a Mickey Mouse version of the Game Watch. So there's the Game Watch before you start, and so it's pretty cool. We press start, show you what the button is supposed to be, and you select kick you out. I think you just press A button, I think. Oh, the top button. You press the top button on the side. I'm not sure exactly which button to push. But this is fun to play. So you press the select button. Sorry about the screen again. You press the select button to get out. Alright, and you press the top button to move your hand right and left, and then this is to go sideways. Okay, and then select to get out. So Game Watch work very nice, so I like that. That's pretty cool. I put this little thing down here. Now it's like every time when I put it down, it's in my way. Alright, so let's get out of this one. Let's go next one. This one, it does work on some game. Okay, so let's press A. So it does work. Alright, the shooting game, but the screen is so small. Let me zoom in. So this game does work. You have to pick first player. Huh. I think you have to pick a joystick. So you have to choose a joystick instead. I apologize for that. The screen is too high, sorry. I'm trying to figure out which button to push to get the joystick to move. Ah, it's not moving again. There you go. Now it's working. So what I did is I pressed the start button, select button, and you want to choose this name right here. If you have the same part, you gotta choose that joystick to be that name, and then the button and joystick will work. Okay. All right. So that's that one. So let's get out here. So you scroll all the way down and say quit. Press A. Nope. Press B. All right. So that one worked. I need to take that little thing in the bottom off. Keep on. Alright, let's press. Now I forgot which game I was in. Alright, press B. So the ZX Spectre, it does work. Now, Pico A, it do not work. So we have total of 8 of them that do not work. So Pico is one of them, and Amiga is another one that do not work. So let's go into it. It doesn't matter which one I choose. I have a problem getting it to work. So I have the MD one, and I also have the zip file, and both of them do not work. So I have the MD and I have the zip file, and both of them do not work. So I'm going to press A. So nothing worked, it's just a black screen. Okay, press the select button to get out of this screen. Let me try to make this darker again so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'll try to make it. Alright, let's go back. So Pico 8 do not work. Game Boy, it does work. It worked pretty nice. Same thing if you want a full screen, since that screen is very small anyway, 8 inches, you don't want anything smaller than that. So you want to press go to option, press A. Oops, sorry. Option, press B, and instead of it being 1.5, you want to do full screen. Okay, then you press B, go down and go back, B, and we're gonna return to the game, and there you have a full screen for Game Boy. So the Game Boy, this is for the Game Boy. So each game you will have to change it if you don't like the default screen. So Game Boy play very nice. Alright. Okay, you can save the stage, press B, and we're going to quit. Now Game Boy and Game Boy Color, it also work. Alright, so let's go down the one because I want to take out that and put another one and show you the difference between the customer firmware and the stock firmware. Okay, so this is Game Boy Color. It does work. Java, it does work, which is interesting. This game actually worked pretty well. So 1942, that game does work. I never played a Java game before. It's like an iPhone type emulator. But the screen is very small. So that's how small the screen is. Alright, let's get out that. The Game Boy Amiga, if you go in, it's gonna tell you need a kickstart. So you need a kick.rom, and that need to be put in the location called mnt/dot, the name over there, in order for it to work. So it won't work either because I don't have the ROM put in there. Game Boy, there's another Game Boy and that worked too. Let's go down the list. NES worked well. It worked with the zip file as well. Game Boy Advance worked. Now what's funny, NES worked, Super NES worked, and Pocket Super NES. There's two versions of Super NES, but I think I don't remember which one. Now this one worked with GameGear better than Sega Master, but they both work in this emulator. Colecovision do not work, so I do not know why it do not work, but it do not work. Okay, so just let you know, Colecovision do not work. So yeah, sometimes you press A, sometimes you press B, so it's very confusing to, like, if you don't play this for a long time, you try to play this, you're gonna get very confused. Sega Master Drive work, Atari 26, let me see, it does work, and it works with the zip file as well. So yes, Atari 26 does work, but it is Atari version, so don't expect. And it does use a doggone stupid mouse menu all the time. I guess you could change your video and everything from here. Let's exit out again. Atari Lynx work very nice. It does work, and PcEngine work very nice as well. You can make it to a full screen. Now I was very impressed that AirZone does work here. Okay, so that means this is a good turbo emulator for Linux. Now it took me a long time to find a good Linux, a good program that would run most or AV Turbo 16 game. I haven't tried the CD version, so I might try that down the road, but this one, it does play. And the reason I chose the AirZone is not because this is my favorite game, but because I want to know if it works. Okay. Now in the past, when I tried to run this in the other handheld, like the Neo Geo Mini or called Retro RS07, this one didn't. You could choose any character you want to help you. So I'm gonna choose the lady. And one thing cool about it is this screen is 2.9, where the Turbo Express is 2.6. So definitely this screen, this system could pretty much replace the Turbo Express handheld. And the battery life, it lasts longer, it's rechargeable. So this is part of the reason I bought this, is just to play some of the basic games, you know, not like real fancy high-end games. Alright, let's get out of the game. I want to try to see if, I think I have one game I have a problem with it. And that was Galaga. Because last time when I tried, oh, that was, sorry, that was the arcade Galaga. I was having an issue with it. But let's try anyway. Let's look for G. Galaga 88. Okay, the screen is good. Now in arcade version, you will have to change the setup in order for it to work. Now this is the main reason I bought this, is because I want to know if I could get a cheap. This is a $54, but it came with a case. But the only thing it did not came with is the screen protector. So if you could buy this for 45 bucks, it's a good handheld game. They have a good basic handheld emulator. Now, if you try to play PlayStation, it's not made for PlayStation or Nintendo 64 or Nintendo DS, because this emulator do not support Nintendo DS. So just let everybody know, because after I bought this and realized after 2 years they're still the same. So two and a half years ago they did not have Nintendo DS. So are they gonna have Nintendo DS? No. And also Nintendo 64, they didn't support Nintendo 64. But so I don't think Nintendo 64, I mean, I have hear people say they try to play Nintendo 64, but Nintendo 64 was, I mean, it was creative, but it was never good. Okay, now here's some of the problem I'm having. Final Burnout will play well with the Neo Geo, but not all the game. Like this game will not work. Okay, now if I play some of the game and try to use the special Neo Geo ROM cheat mode, it will not work here, because this emulator for some reason do not support that. So if you was trying to add special thing to it, it will not work, because this one do not support, and the viewpoint would not work on the viewpoint will not work. V-linear will not work. So there's a lot of game here that do not work, and the stock firmware actually work better than this one, because it lets you do the cheat mode. So my question is, do I want to use the customer firmware? It look nice, but I don't like it because it doesn't have a cheat mode on Neo Geo game. And so what's the special about this one? Only thing is the front end screen look good, but everything else do not play. All the emulator they added, it doesn't work. So some of the emulator like the May, I like the May emulator because some of the game that Neo Geo cannot support, it work on May for all. So you could bring May for all over and play those games. So here, if I put to press start and select at the same time and press B, it does not give me the cheat mode like the previous version. It do not work. So if I press start and select and press B, it does not work. The cheat mode does not work. But if you was to play the different mode, the cheat mode will work. Okay. Okay, now compare this one with the LD. Excuse me. The screen is constantly getting bright. Okay. Compared to this one, I think this one load faster than that one, and plus the screen is bigger, and I like both of them actually. But I like the color, I like the design. This one you have more wider grip, and the L button is not in awkward position. So I do like this one, but it's just the screen is very small, and not all the emulator work. The open source load very slow. Now the ancestor of this one that do not have this slider, the open source play very well, but for some reason the system burn out. It won't work, it will never turn on again. So I bought this newer version and it's not that great. Okay, so I bought this one thinking it would be more powerful, but the open source load very slow. Now this will also be good for Turbo 16 and Neo Geo as well. So I do like this one. Now the main reason I bought this one is because it protects the screen, so you could close it and reopen it, and that's what I like about this one. And there's 2 speakers instead of 1 speaker. I think most of them only have, well, this one have 2 speakers, so this one is not bad either. Alright, so let's see. The DOS game do not work here, and the cheat mode do not work here on the customer firmware. So the DOS mode do not work. Now Neo Geo, for some reason this is called the Neo Geo. None of the Neo Geo will work on this. So this one I will say no. Okay, so if you want to play Neo Geo, you have to play here, the Final Burnout. But there's no cheat mode, and there's definitely no cheat mode here because nothing works here. So if you press A, let me just demonstrate this real quick. Now this one I tried to load both the main and the Neo Geo to see which one actually work on this emulator, and neither one of them work on this emulator. So it's kind of like, why you put it there? Maybe it's for the different version, like a Pocket, because this download support both the V90 and Q90 and some other Pocket, so, and also some other emulator. So it's not made just for this machine, but for this image, like I tried to play 1945, 1944, 1943, nothing worked, even with Capcom game. See, it would just kick me out. It would not work. So then I tried to load Neo Geo. It do not work either. So this stupid garbage do not work, this emulator. I don't know. And I have so many ROM in here that is taking a long time to load. Okay, So what I decided is go back to the stock firmware, increase the size of the stock firmware, so I have 256 gigabyte, and then I could put a lot of ROM and also put PlayStation. Now I know all the PlayStation do not work on the system, so I decided to go up to the front, to the top, and change my ROM folder to Neo Geo. So I press A, and then I have all this ROM folder that I have created. Well, not created, but that I dropped the ROM in here. So we run main, and then now I'm trying to run Neo Geo. So I say, okay, let's try any of the Neo Geo. It do not work. It kicked me out. So that Neo Geo emulator, it looked nice, but it do nothing. It do nothing for me. Okay, so this is no. Sad, but no, it does not. DOS does not work. Pocket Mini, it does work. Wonder Swan, let's see if it works, because last time when I tried it, it did not work. Yeah, see, it kicked me out. Wonder Swan color, it kicked me out. Let's try the black and white, because I tried the color one, it didn't work. So let's see if I can find a black and white. So WC and the zip file, it doesn't matter what format. For some reason, the Wonder Swan would not work either. So let's see if I have a different folder for Wonder Swan. Nope. I think the only thing I have here is just color. Maybe that Wonder Swan made for black and white, I don't know, but it do not work. So Wonder Swan is a no as well. Now I have put some PlayStation in here, but it only load up the video and doesn't play. Now some of them does work, so let's check it out. PlayStation. Now it worked with BIN, and it also worked with PDP, but the problem is it worked with those different format, the PDB and bin, but the bad thing is it only load up the video. The game will not stop. Okay, and that's one of my favorite game, and I can't get it to work. So that's the downside. If you try to play the 95, it doesn't matter if you try the CUE or bin, either one, it will work. It sounds kind of funny. So I'm kind of surprised that this $40 system will work. Yeah, I don't think there's a cheat mode for this. Oh, it does have a built-in difficulty. Beginner, stage on, demo cut on, battle configure, sound test, vibration. Okay. Oh, even have artwork. That's pretty cool. It's acting like a normal CD. That's pretty cool. So how to get out? Man, the name is so small. Okay, there we go, I found it. Oh, this is 2-player. I don't have another joystick plugged into it. Forget that. Let's exit out here. So some of the PlayStation does work, so that's pretty interesting. Like I said, the CUE will also load as well. As long as you have both of them together, it doesn't matter which one you click, it should work. Okay? Because the CUE is pointing to BIN, so it doesn't matter. It will load both of them. I don't think this one worked because I'm getting a black screen. Yeah, I'm getting a black screen. So sad to say that one will not work. So Jackie Chan will not work. So it's a hit and miss. That's one thing about that people never tell you. They will say, oh, this game system is real good, real perfect. But if it's a Linux operating system, yeah, you will get a lot of games that work well. But like PlayStation or Nintendo 64, most of those games will not work. Okay, let's go ahead and change the SD card out. I'm gonna go ahead and power it off. I didn't do a shutdown, so it's going to take a minute to refix itself. It have a spring in here, which is good. You press it and it will come out. And we're gonna put in because in the older model you had to take it out from the battery. Well, this one have the SD ROM here, that one does too. Alright, so we're gonna put this SD card in here. So there's only one SD card, there's no dual SD card here. And we're gonna go ahead and turn the power on. Now, this one is the main stock firmware. Now, reason why I like this is because, let me show you why, okay? I like the old stock firmware because now the only emulator that I want to bring over is made for all. I was able to get the made for all and move it over, okay? And I'll show you how to open it. You go to the Explorer and you press A, and then you could open up the emulator by going to EMU, okay? So the EMU, you could choose all the emulator like Game & Watch. You could load the game. I believe you can load the Game & Watch as well, because the Game & Watch, it worked very nice here. Let's go ahead and try it because I do like it. Even though there's only 54 games, but I do like the Game & Watch. So what you do is you just load the Game & Watch.so. I zoom in, but the screen is not clear. So let's see, we can make it darker. Okay, there you go. So let's load that one. Okay, so it did not load for Game & Watch. So let's go ahead and load the other emulator. So now all the emulator will work on the stock firmware. But made for all will. So if you go in and look for, okay, made for all.dge. Now the DGE will work on, they call it the G menu. Okay, this main menu is called the G menu. The other one is more like either Pi menu or the middle menu or customer firmware menu. Okay, now this one will work because it is a DGE format. So you look just like that. It's a version 0.37b5. Now if you go to the site and download that, or the ROM that's supported by this version, then most of the about 95% of the ROM will work with this emulator. So I will give you the link to where to download this. Okay, now the ROM that I picked, it didn't come from the link that I gave you, because I didn't know what emulator, what version is support on this one until I got it. So when I just used the one that I like to play. So I didn't download from the link that I'm going to give you for the ROM here. So you just move up and down, and then this screen will come back up, because I have like maybe like 2,000 ROM in here. So you don't want to put that much ROM in here because it takes a long time to load. Every time it go back to the serial, finally load. And one thing interesting, it does play Tempest. Okay, with this ROM you could play Tempest with this emulator, made for all. So you press B. Now you could change this to scale aspect. Now if it rotates the wrong direction, you could change it so it will rotate correctly. Okay, you could choose aspect fast, scale fast, full screen. For Tempest you don't want to do full screen, it will turn sideways. Rotation normal, rotation horizontal, so it will rotate horizontally. And what I want to do is I'm just gonna say scale aspect and see what it look like. And if it doesn't look correctly, you could change it. So then you press B again to start. See, so you could play this actually. Before, with the older emulator, you wasn't able to change the thing. Alright, so you're going to press the start button, insert the coin, press start. Well, I think this one, yeah, start. But it's hard to play with this screen because it's Alright, so let's get out of the game. This one, just press the select, you get out of the game. And you could also play Ninja Turtle in time with this emulator. So just because you use this old customer firmware doesn't mean you cannot run some of this arcade ROM. So you still can, because this ROM will support G menu and also support the customer firmware version. So let's try this one. Press B, and I'm going to say scale aspect. So Ninja Turtle will work here as well. The sound is kind of weird because the gameplay okay, but some of the sound, it sounds kind of weird. It's like a tinking noise instead of. Alright, that's what I want to do, is show you that you could also throw the character out as well. Alright, so let's get out of the game. Just press select. Alright, so let's get out completely. Oh, I just start another game. Okay, so let's click on the top and let's go to the emulator. Now, this is the emulator that I put in the artwork and I reduced the size. Now, if I remember correctly, I'm supposed to reduce all the size correctly. I think it's 128 by either 183 or bigger is fine. So let's check it out. This is the first time checking this out. Press B. Is it B or A? I don't remember. Yeah. Okay. See, it have an artwork. So you could do that with the G menu, but not the customer firmware, which it doesn't make sense. So you could pick, as long as a US game, you will have an artwork. See that? Which is, to me, is pretty cool. You could do that with this this emulator. Now, if I actually want to, I guess I could create a pie menu on top of this, but I haven't done that for 2.5 years, so I don't remember how I did it. So I'm not sure I'm going to. I mean, I could live with this, you know, the fact that you could do this. Okay, so yes, as long as you reduce the size, you could put any artwork in here and it will work. Now, not 100% will work because some of them are like an unknown format, so it will not have an artwork, but majority they have artwork. Okay, like this Japanese version, this is the Game Boy version, it doesn't have an artwork, and this is the Game Boy. So there, all the Game Boy have an artwork. Oh, my cat came to visit me. So this is pretty cool, and it does play well. Okay, because last time we tested, it played very well. And let's try one. Just refresh our memory. I guess let's try Batman. I guess. Or let's try Batman Return. No, my cat is eating my pot. But my cat did not really technical either. He liked to chew on it. For some reason, my phone is recording different color, but it's supposed to be the black and white. That's what I'm looking at. Alright, let's get out of the game. Press B. Oh, I told it sleep mode. Okay, press start. This is kind of weird. Press start to get out. Game Boy Color, same thing. I press A, but I have a lot of ROM because I increased the size of this image to a 256 gigabyte. So it take a long time to load. Now I know I created a picture of, but apparently I did not. So this one I need to, oh, I do. Okay, only the USA have the picture of. Well, this one is USA, but some reason don't have it. Because the name and the image have to have the same name, same character, so it have to have exact name. If it doesn't, it will not load up. If it have a little bit of a different name, it will not show up the box art. Okay, this one does show up the box art, so I need to go in and figure out why some of them are not showing the box art. Because originally it was a zip file and I had to unzip it, so that might be because it doesn't have the same name. Now my box art is all 3D, so that's pretty cool. So I have to go one by one and compare the name in order to fix this, because apparently it does not have all the box art. Oh well. That's to get out. How do I get out? Press the star. Yeah. Game Boy Advance. Let's see what it looks like. Press A. So I guess it would take longer to load because I put a lot of ROM in it, and plus it have box art, so it have the same. Maybe that's the reason this one loads so slow. Because I added too much ROM to it as well. Okay, this one does have box art right away. The first one, 007, 007, good. So this one is pretty good. Most of them have box art. Awesome. And this one also play well as well. So you don't have to look at the name, you just look at the box art. There's Aladdin, you know. And my favorite game would be, of course, Final Fight. Let's look for Final Fight. Final Fight 1. So, oh, cool. This one, it have almost like perfect artwork. Now, Game Boy Color, I need to check what's going on. I probably have to redo that one. For some reason, the Game Boy Color is kind of very, it's like maybe 5% artwork. Yeah. Alright, let's get out of the game. it might take a long time to go back to the original because yeah, I try and load up everything, so that's why. Alright, go and press start button to get out. And let's go check the, because I never checked the turbo air on this emulator. So let's see if this emulator will be perfect like the one in customer firmware. That it will play. Oh, I didn't delete the stupid number on the side. I have my own set. The number will definitely have no pictures because those are not, there you go. Mine is created by those created by me, but the one with the number, those are created by the original ROM that came with the system. Alright, so I'm gonna look for air pump. Oh, I think I already passed the A. Because air bomb is hard to emulate, so if it works, that means this one is a good ROM to use, the stock firmware. It looks like it's gonna work. I choose a little tiny cat this time. Alright, worked. So that's good. So this emulator is very nice. Now there's 27 emulator that in my old system. This one do not have 27 emulators. Even the customer firmware do not have 27 emulators. So just FYI. So start button to select. Okay. When I say 27 emulator, I'm talking about this one have 256 gigabyte. All 27 emulator does work on this system. So, all right. So yes, majority of this should have artwork, except the Japanese. I thought I moved the Japanese over as well. So those are Japanese box art. Alright, so let's get out here by pressing select, no, start. Okay, so let's see, I put some PlayStation here, so let's check out the PlayStation. Oop, wrong button. B, no, A. So now it's gonna be okay. Like I say the 77, this one don't have artwork either. So I need to check out why. Now, like I say, not all the game here will work. So let's try the hardest one, the Ballerina Part 3. Press start. Nope. Press. Now it's a 3D game, so I'm not sure that this one will load okay or not. It's loading. Interesting. It does work. So Ballerina Part 3, it load up pretty good. Yeah, I win. Yeah, I haven't played this game for a long time. Alright, so let's get out of the game. Press. So you can save the stage. I guess you press star. No. A. A. Let's get out of the game. So my Game Boy Color and my PlayStation artwork did not work. So I think I forgot the artwork, maybe. I don't know. Neo Geo Pocket. Let's try it out. Let's see if there's any artwork. Yep, nice. That's what I like. You need to have artwork in the customer firmware. There's no artwork. This is nice. See, that's the reason I will recommend you guys to get this instead of this one, which is this one is 128 gigabyte, which is the customer firmware, and I use the 256 one and add more game by downloading the game one. So you could take the original image, burn it on the SD card, and then burn it into a bigger SD card, and then increase the size. Then you can put a whole bunch of ROM in here. I'm still downloading downloading ROM for the other system. That's nice. I like that. I like the able to see the artwork. Okay, so let's get out here. Wonder Swan. Oop, one button again. Oh, some artwork. Some of them not sized correctly. Yeah, some of them did not get sized correctly. It's like real big. So I need to fix the size of this one. It does have artwork, it's just they're not all in the same size. Okay. Mega Drive. Yep, artwork. So I prefer the artwork than the first, just the first skin. because the first game, it doesn't tell me what game I'm playing. This, at least I can see the pictures, and that to me is more valuable than just a front end page. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Linux operating system, you can actually customize it. You can even add different skin colors, stuff like that to it. Alright, so let's go to Mega Drive, press A. Now I think Mega Drive have a lot of ROM, so it's gonna take a while to load. There you go, that's real nice, very nice. I'm loving it. So, am I gonna use the customer firmware? Nah, there's not enough game to make me interested in. I'd rather have a box art and play most of the game that I like here, because all the game here work. And this one, not all the game on customer firmware work, so that's the problem, you know. Alright, did we check Super? Let's try an NES. Oh, I'm missing artwork for NES. Oh no, those are the number I didn't delete. Let's go to the non-number. Those came with this console. I should delete those. I didn't. I think they gave you like, oh shoot, I didn't put any new ROM in here. I forgot to put new ROM in here. Yep, this is the old one that came with this system. That's why I have number on it. So I didn't add the new game in here. Alright, I need to fix that. So Game Boy Color and Famicom and PlayStation have issue. Alright, GameGear. Oh, GameGear's picture is too big. Now, so the US one have pictures, the Japanese one doesn't. Yeah, the USA one have pictures. But the picture is too big. Need to fix it. See that? Back to the drawing board. Alright. Taking a while to load because there's a lot of ROM in here. Oh, this is the number one. Let's go out of number. Huh, still don't have pictures for Super Nintendo. I forgot to put pictures for this one. Now this one have 3. I went and added some CPS, see if that worked. I think I only have like 80. I don't know how many games I have, but I add pictures to it too. So now I have pictures, so that's nice. Let's try the Commando. Because before, when I started this, I didn't have a Capcom's. Also, I don't have a correct Capcom's artwork. I got the different kind of a. It's also using a Final Burnout for open source. Oh yeah, I forgot to test the Neo Geo to show you that the Neo Geo have the cheat mode on this stock firmware. It's gonna take a while to load. Oh, I had to press a button because there was something wrong with it. I pressed the one button, I think. Alright, let's see what happens when we turn it off and turn it back on. Would it have the same problem like the other one? Because the other one, if you turn it off, turn it back on when the system frozen, it give you 1 minute to rethink itself. I don't know what's wrong with it. Okay, so this one, the hack version don't have the box off, but the original one does. So that's good. So let's try one and try to see if we could put in the cheat mode. Let's try the King of Fighter. Now I changed the Neo Geo I changed the Neo Geo bio, so I don't know it's gonna load the latest because I changed the bio that came with this system to my bio. So once the game started, I don't know it's gonna allow me to change it to the version 4 because I used the version 4 bio instead of the older one. So I don't know, does the Lynx support the new bio, the 4.0 cheat mode? I don't know. We're gonna test it after we load it. Let's see if it works. I don't know if this one have any cheat mode or not. But the main that we're using on the stock firmware, I don't think is as good as the other one. So you could load the other one using the Explorer to do that. But this one, the stock firmware, the cheat mode is better. It have. Oh, it loads so slow. Come on. I guess the faster processor, the other brand, the RG350, they are more powerful. So if you could handle this kind of problem with the open source emulator, then the open source is made from Linux. So it's a Linux operating system. So if you're okay with that, then yeah, you know, go get the $100. Because this is half of the price, and the RG351 and MP, those are pretty powerful, a more powerful system. So that emulator probably is going to run faster than the cheaper one. Okay, so I'm gonna press. There you go. Yes, it does have the cheat mode, so that's great. So it does still work. Infinite life, enable, auto fire, invisible. Yep. Press X to get out, X to get out. There you go. Insert coin. And I think this emulator, the sound is louder. Whoa, it's moving too quick. I'm trying to get the second person. There you go. That's weird, the joystick, the D-pad is acting so crazy. Yeah, but this one at least have a cheat mode, you know, and you cannot die. Oh, there's some lacking. Okay, it's back to normal again. No more. Those crazy lag. It looks like still some lacking. Yep, sad to say it is lacking. Yep, Neo Geo have lacking. So sad. Alright, but at least they have pictures now. It's weird, it's not all of them, but they have pictures. So that's cool. So my picture is like 128 by 183, which is good. That's a good size for it. Okay. Alright, so let's get out of here and let's try this one arcade. Let's see if this one have any. Okay, the arcade finally load up. So let's try the X-Men vs Street Fighter. See if that one will work. Okay, so it's using the same final burnout. So like I say, if the final burnout do not load, then you want to go use made for all to run those arcade games. But it looks like it's loading okay. Now you would probably ask, well, if final burnout will load on the open dingles, will they have a cheat mode? I don't think so, because those cheat mode is only made for Neo Geo. It's not made for the Capcom's game. So if you was to press start and select, there's no cheat mode. Okay. So that's cool. The graphics look very nice, but problem is the camera is not doing it justice. There you go. Now this is more like it. It's the color. Now compared to the screen, this one on all direction is a much better screen than for this screen, and even though those are more those handheld, even though those handheld are more expensive. So this one is like without the case and the string attached to it, it probably is gonna cost about $45 to $50. Well, actually I paid $54, so about $50, $40. Actually, you could get it for $45 if without the case and stuff like that. Now this one, the screen is a lot better and bigger than like for example this one, because if you was to turn this one on, the screen is okay, but it's not as good as this one, because this one, when you turn on, now I haven't removed the screen, that I didn't buy the screen protector, so I didn't remove it. If you was to move, you could see a little bit of a double shaded, because it's not a good perfect IPS screen. It's more of a TFT screen. Okay, see that the bottom is it having a double layer. Now the side view is good. Side view left and right, because the TFT screen, one of the angle is not going to look good. So this angle is not, down angle is bad, but the up and the side are good. It just the bottom is not good. So this screen, even though this game system, it costs more than this one, but they should, I mean, they both play pretty much the same game set. So I will recommend this over this one. Okay, now if you are buying the older system, like the one with LDT, this one, I just took the SD card out because I want to back up my ROM and transfer to this to this old console, because I'm missing SD card. But this one also, I think, have a little bit of the same problem with the screen. I don't know if I could turn it off without no SD card in it. There's no SD card in here, so I don't think it's gonna turn on. So this machine, I think it's as good as that one, but it's too small. Okay, but the game fact, the way how the game is created, the shoulder button, everything is very nice. You could actually easily able to hold on to it without any hesitation. See, I could do this and then push this button at the same time. Well, this one, you have a little bit of a problem when you play. It's a little bit of an issue with the button. Okay, and it will go sleep mode if you don't touch it. So, but if you use the stock firmware, you don't have to worry about it. Now it won't boot up. If you use a customer firmware, it will do that all the time. Okay, so I like this cleaner cut game set. So I recommend don't put more than 100 game per folder. If you have to, separate the folder into 2 folders, so it won't take forever to load up. Otherwise it will take forever to load up. Okay, so just FYI. And then you have all these other games right here, which is pretty nice. All this game here play very well. And there's 4x3, that's 12, 13, 14. For 14 game that play very well. Okay, and you could add more game to it, which I think I did, but I don't remember which one is which. So you could go to Explore and go to instead of emulator, you could go to the game folder, and then just transfer the customer game over here, and then you could play the game from here. I think that one, they both have it. I have King of Fighter already on another one. So I have Mr. Drill, but I don't have this one up here. So let's try this one, see if it works. Oh, this one probably will not work. If it doesn't have the EDI, well, I don't know. This is yeah, this one does work. So even though this one did not come with the stock firmware, you could definitely download the customer firmware and then transfer it over. That got me kind of wonder, does this one work with the customer firmware? So this one does work. So yeah, you could actually play this other game that we don't have from the other side, like the Sea Dog, I think. Sea Dog DL. I think that's the file. Sea Dog DL SDL. Oop, I guess not. This one went. Oh no, it's still loading. Oh, it's probably missing some file. But at least if this one doesn't work, you turn it off, turn it back on. It will not create a problem. This one, this customer firmware, it does create that problem whenever you turn it off and turn it back on. So I wonder what other emulator will work here. I know DOS do not work here anyway. Handy is more of a setup. Open Swan. For some reason the Swan Pocket. Mega Drive, Super Pocket, Pocket Mini. I guess we could try this one. Ooh, this one low funny. Yeah, that's the mouse. So that one will not work. But that's the GM2X. So what run this program is from this program right here. The G2X. Okay. But what run the emulator, see, you can't really see it because the other emulator, it won't allow you to use, it doesn't have an explorer, so you can't get out and see what emulator is running. But this is what is calling it. This program is calling this GU2X. So that's what makes, so if I was to run this, it's gonna open the same program again, see? Because that's what, this what is called the GX, the G menu 2X. So it's a 2X version. The other one just called, those older ones called just a G menu. Okay, so you could go to emulator, and I was hoping the Game Watch will work because it worked nicely here. The made for all, that's the main one. So that one works, so that's the best. But everything else here, you have it on the other side. So you don't really need it. So let's go back on the top. Let's look at the emulator. I don't think I have a Pokémon Mini. So let's go back to Pokémon Mini. We don't have that, so let's go home. Let's see Pokémon Mini work because we don't have that one. Yeah, it does work. So load stage, save stage, setting. Huh. I guess he cannot find where the ROM is. So I guess not. I guess that one will not work either. Oh well, as long as the main work, that's the main thing. So oh, we do have the we do have that game here. So yeah. Alright, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. So I do recommend this system because it played my favorite console, which is Turbo Express PcEngine, and it played all the handheld game very well, like Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, NES, Super NES, GameGear, Master System, So-So, and Sega Genesis. Now PlayStation, some of the game will play, and arcade I have 2 emulators, so most of the arcade game I like, it works, so that's good. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Other game, you know, I'm not gonna try to play Dreamcast or GameCube or Nintendo DS. Now eventually I will create a Raspberry Pi that run Nintendo DS, because I already have an image that I'm creating, which is the pinball. So I'm going to have, like I was saying, at the Nintendo DS. Now there's a guy named he have an image already. It's he's using Android 11, and that's what somebody want, Android 11. But he have a lack of pinball, so I wanted to add more pinball. He gave me permission. He said this image is for you to do whatever you choose to do. It's up to you. So because I asked his permission, can I add more stuff and then release it? And he said it's up to you. You could do whatever you want. You know. So that's cool. So I would like to add Nintendo D. He already added like 750 Nintendo DS, which is wow. You know, that is the most I ever seen. So that is cool. So he actually kind of like deliver what I asked for, not directly for me, but indirectly. So that was cool. And he also have Android 11. So now I need to do is trying to get the pinball to work again and make it vertical instead of horizontal. Now most of his game is horizontal, so I'm not sure should I change it to vertical or not. Maybe I'll keep it as a horizontal. But yeah, he have a good image, so I just need to work on it. And when I have time, right now I'm trying to get my house fixed up again. There's a water damage again with the pipe. But sorry the video taking this long. It just kind of bring back the old memory of how it first started with the handheld, going from this to the retro mini, which is this one, and then it went from here to, you know, something like this to this. So it's pretty interesting. And now they even went to an RG350, and those are more powerful system, but it costs more. And to me, I think the emulator is not that powerful, the Lynx emulator. So by having a powerful system, it doesn't really do anything unless the emulator support it. So if an emulator doesn't support it, what's the purpose of getting a more powerful system if it cannot handle it? You know, and the loading system is slow. Even with this one, the loading system was slow. By adding a lot of ROM to it, it takes a long time to load. So yeah, so the more you add to the ROM folder, if you add too much, it's gonna take a long time. It doesn't matter what kind of system you have, it will take a long time. So the way to shut this off is to hold this button. I didn't know that's how you shut it off. And then you press the A button to shut it off. Because I haven't used this for a long time, I couldn't figure out how to shut this thing off. And I think this one is the same thing. You press the power button for a long time in the middle, and then you hold it for a long time for it to come up. But the problem is it doesn't have an SD card, so it's not going to boot up because there's no SD card. I took the SD card out. I wonder would it boot to the new customer firmware, because it supports a lot of system. I wonder would it support this. Let's check it out. Let's see what happens if we was to turn this on. Oh, this one is turned on from here. Sorry, you don't need to push the button. I think button is to shut down. It's not to turn on. I think that's the on. And that's off. Oh, here you go. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, the customer firmware will not work on this machine. So we know it doesn't work because each one have its own special boot up operating system, so it will not boot up with this one. Alright, that's all I have. If you have any question, please ask, and I'm trying to remember how I create a pie menu. Maybe down the road I could move the main into the main screen and maybe add some kind of a pie menu to this as well, so it will look like the customer firmware, but at least you're also able to add the icon to it, where the customer firmware for that one do not do the box art, which is, it's a shame. You know, it's a pretty box, it's a pretty front end. I mean, I could change my front end to look like that too by changing the pictures. That's all it does, is it took the pie menu and changed the picture. I mean, that's pretty much what it looked like. So I could take this one and put this one back into that other one. It does have game already on it. So, but this one is 128 and this one is 256. So I just took the custom stock firmware and just increased the size, and then I used the 256. Now they're all FAT32, by the way, but this one, every time I boot up with the customer firmware, it give me, it's called Mio customer firmware. It always give me this. So you can't get out of it. You just have to sit there for 1 minute for it to work. Now this is a stock firmware. I don't think it will work on here either. So let me try it anyway. You can't break anything, you know, just try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Nope. Yeah, they make the operating system. I mean, the Lynx work on any system most of the time. So you have to test. You have to take the emulator and test it on every single one of them. But Made for All does work on this one, so that's cool. The other one doesn't seem to work. We just tested, it didn't work. So I wonder, is Wonder Swan? Well, we do. I wonder, since Wonder Swan does not work here, would it work over here? You know, that's kind of interesting question. But yeah, this customer firmware, every time you boot up, you have to wait for at least 1 minute and 20 seconds before it will come up. So that's the pain in the neck. But you don't have to put this in the computer and try to fix it. I mean, you could, if you do it that way, it will boot up automatic right away. But you don't want to put it to your computer every time that this show up. It just, if you don't want this to show up, once it boot up, I'll show you a proper way to shut down. And then once you shut down, you turn it back on, it won't give you this long 1 minute and okay. So once you boot up, oh, this one don't have a proper shutdown because it's on the customer firmware. Yeah, it's in customer firmware. Alright, so if you put it in the sleep mode and then turn it off, would that help? Would that help from booting up to that crazy screen? Nope. You're still in a crazy screen. Alright, there's no way around it. So that's why I don't want to use a customer firmware. But I'll give you the link to the customer firmware, and there's no stock firmware link. So you will have to take the original one SD card, make a backup copy, and then burn it to a bigger SD card. So if you guys need help on that, let me know and I'll do a video on that if you need help on that. Alright, talk to you later. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.